There's a world you never hear about, one that never appears on Instagram, never advertises, and never needs to recruit. A world where the sons and daughters of old money families are quietly groomed for power long before they ever step into a boardroom. While most teenagers spend their summers scrolling, sleeping, or working their first jobs, future heirs are flown to private academies, historic estates, and invitation-only international programs designed to shape their confidence, polish their instincts, and connect them to the networks that will follow them for life. And here's the shocking part. These programs aren't about academics. They're about identity. They mold the next generation of the elite, teaching them the unwritten rules, the conversational intelligence, and the global awareness required to carry family empires into the future. If you want to understand how generational wealth is preserved, not just financially, but culturally, this is where the story begins. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed to the Luxury Lane. It helps this channel grow and bring you more exclusive insights into the world of old money, quiet power, and generational influence. Now let's step quietly behind the scenes. The hidden purpose of elite summer programs? Families with long legacies don't leave anything to chance. They know that a child's environment shapes their beliefs, their discipline, their worldview, and even the kind of peers they bond with. And for families who think in centuries, not years, those things matter more than grades or test scores. Elite summer programs exist to ensure that the next generation grows up with cultural fluency, grace under pressure, social intelligence, global awareness, discipline disguised as freedom, confidence without arrogance, a sense of duty toward the family legacy. While the rest of the world thinks summer camp is about zip lining and bonfires, these programs serve as a finishing school for the modern world. And they start early, sometimes at age 9, often by age 12. These programs never advertise publicly. Invitations come through private schools, discreet recommendations, or direct lineage. And once your family is in, you're in for life. 1. The environment where legacy is built. Elite summer programs always take place in highly curated environments. Never flashy, never chaotic, always controlled. Some are held on ivy-covered boarding school campuses in Switzerland or the English countryside. Some take place on private islands or old estates passed down for generations. Others rotate between global cities, Paris, Singapore, and New York, depending on the cohort. But the location is never the real point. The environment is designed to cultivate a sense of belonging. A future heir needs to feel at home not only in their own country, but anywhere in the world. The more adaptable they are, the easier it becomes to manage global business, navigate international diplomacy, or interact with cosmopolitan social circles. So these programs recreate the environments heirs will eventually be expected to thrive in. Private dining rooms with multi-course meals, mock diplomatic negotiations led by former ambassadors, art immersion, inside private collections, luxury travel etiquette from packing to airport protocol, discreet security awareness leadership labs run by executives who have worked for their parents. And it's all done subtly, not as pressure, but as exposure. Old money believes you should absorb competence, not be lectured into it. 2. The curriculum, what heirs are really taught. The curriculum inside these programs is unlike anything you'll find in a traditional school, because it's not about academics, it's about shaping character. 1. The art of presence. Future heirs are taught how to enter a room without saying a word and still command respect. They learn posture and physical composition, how to maintain calm energy, how to read a room instantly, how to engage in conversation without dominating it. This is the foundation of quiet power, the kind of old money prizes. 2. Self-discipline, without force. Rather than strict rules, these programs use structure. Early mornings with cold swims, journaling before breakfast, tech-free afternoons, seminars disguised as social activities. Discipline is introduced as a lifestyle, not a punishment. 3. Conversational intelligence. Heirs learn how to speak with anyone. Diplomats, CEOs, artists, philanthropists, they're taught how to ask meaningful questions, how to steer conversations gracefully, how to talk about travel, art, and culture, how to handle awkward pauses, how to avoid bragging while still demonstrating confidence. This is why old money children seem effortlessly polished. They were trained. 4. Personal responsibility. This one is surprising to outsiders. Despite their wealth, future heirs are expected to do small but important tasks themselves, folding and storing their clothes properly, writing daily reflection notes, maintaining a tidy environment. Participating in community service, because entitlement is the enemy of legacy. 5. Cultural mastery programs include exposure to classical music, architecture, literature, global history, philosophical discussions, nature conservation. Not to show off, but to develop a sense of identity within the world. 6. Strategic independence heirs are encouraged to complete mini projects, often entrepreneurial or philanthropic, a sustainability idea, a small business concept, a cultural research presentation, a charity proposal. It's not about the results, it's about thinking like a leader early on. 3. The network, the real power behind these programs. If you take away only one thing from this video, take this. These programs are not about learning, they are about connecting. Elite families know that networks form in childhood. The friend you make at 13 may become your future investor, your board member, your partner in a global venture, your attorney, your political ally, or in many cases, your spouse. These programs bring together children from old money, American families, European aristocratic lines, Middle Eastern business dynasties, Asian industrial families, African political families, Latin American real estate empires. On the surface, the activities look like fun. Group dinners, lake days, cultural excursions. But beneath the surface, bonds are being built that strengthen global influence. Families know that one summer connection can shape the next 50 years. 4. The code of conduct, the rules they must live by. Elite summer programs operate under strict, though unspoken rules. Future heirs are taught early that their actions reflect not only themselves, but their family name. Rule 1. Never boast about wealth. The moment you brag, you reveal insecurity. Rule 2. Always show gratitude. Thank hosts, staff, and instructors. Always. Rule 3. Respect privacy above everything. No cameras, no social media, no gossip. Rule 4. Practice restraint. Speak with intention, not impulse. Rule 5. Help others save face, whether in conversation or conflict. Rule 6. Leave places better than you found them, from dorm rooms to dinner tables. These rules are the foundation of the old money aura that people often admire. 5. What these programs really produce. By the end of a single summer, these programs have transformed the participants in ways outsiders rarely understand. They return home calmer, more confident, sharper in social settings, more aware of the world, more connected, more disciplined, more prepared to eventually lead. They are shaped not into spoiled heirs, but into future custodians of their families, name, assets, and responsibilities. Children who attend these programs often become the adults who sit on philanthropic boards, manage foundations, oversee family investment portfolios, run multinational companies, represent their families in public life. This is how generational power quietly continues. 6. The elite programs themselves, a look behind the curtain. Most people don't even know these programs exist, and that's by design. They operate quietly, discreetly, and often under names that sound more academic or cultural than elite. But behind those neutral titles are institutions that have shaped world leaders, CEOs, royalty, and multi-generational business dynasties. Here are some of the types of summer programs old money families send their heirs to without ever posting about them publicly. International Leadership Institutes. Invitation only. These private programs are usually hosted on rotating campuses in places like Switzerland, London, Singapore, or Monte Carlo. The curriculum seems academic on paper, but in reality, they're finishing schools for global leadership. Participants learn public speaking through real diplomatic simulations, crisis management with retired military advisors, negotiation techniques taught by former UN consultants, reputation management and public image strategies, the history of global financial institutions. The purpose isn't to prepare them for a job, but to prepare them for the weight of responsibility they'll inherit. These programs teach heirs how to think like rulers, not employees. Heritage and cultural immersion camps. These are run on historic estates, centuries-old boarding schools, or private islands owned by elite families. They immerse future heirs in art history, classical music, literature, and philosophy, architecture, conservation, and land stewardship. They might spend mornings discussing Tolstoy or Austen, and afternoons learning how to navigate a private collection of Renaissance paintings. Why? Because old money believes that cultural literacy is a form of power. Knowing the difference between Impressionism and Baroque tells an elite family whether someone belongs in their circle. This type of cultural confidence is subtle, but it lasts a lifetime. Outdoor wilderness and expedition programs. It may sound surprising, but many of the wealthiest families send their children into rugged environments every summer, far from luxury, without access to phones, assistance, or comfort. The idea is simple. If you can handle nature, you can handle life. These expeditions include mountain treks, sailing programs, survival training, team building challenges, Early morning cold water dips navigation exercises, Zero Technology Week's Old Money believes resilience is learned, not inherited. These wilderness programs break down ego and build grit, because once a future heir knows they can survive on a mountain at dawn, managing a family board meeting becomes much easier. Philanthropy and humanitarian programs. Not all programs are about culture or leadership. Many focus on humanitarian missions, where young heirs learn why their philanthropic decisions matter. These programs expose them to global poverty, conservation issues, cultural preservation, clean water projects, sustainable agriculture, community building efforts. They learn how to build, not just donate. This is the training that eventually turns heirs into philanthropists who sit on the boards of major foundations. It teaches empathy, responsibility, and the understanding that wealth is only meaningful when it improves the world around it. Entrepreneurship and innovation labs. Some families believe heirs should understand business early, so they send them to specialized innovation labs run by actual entrepreneurs. In these programs, teens build mini startups, pitch ideas to investors, learn design thinking, work with product developers, study business case models, start real functioning ventures. These labs aren't about becoming a startup founder, they're about understanding how to evaluate opportunity. Because when you grow up around business empires, your ability to read markets becomes part of your identity. 7. Why old money keeps these programs secret? These programs operate with a level of privacy that borders on invisibility. They do not post photos, they do not publicize their alumni, they do not make promotional videos. There are several reasons why. Reason 1. Protecting the next generation. Many heirs come from families with high public visibility or political significance. Their summer experiences must be protected from media, fame, or unwanted attention. Reason 2. Maintaining exclusivity. If everyone had access, the programs would lose their purpose. Scarcity is value, privacy is prestige. Reason 3. Avoiding rich kid backlash. Old money families avoid public displays of wealth. They want their children seen as educated, grounded, cultured, not spoiled or entitled. A discreet environment prevents social media scandals and protects family reputation. Reason 4. Preserving bond strength. The intimacy of these programs works because the circle is small. When the same families cross paths repeatedly, year after year, it creates lifelong trust. That trust becomes influence later in life. 8. The psychological transformation. By the end of the program, even young heirs develop noticeable changes, such as increased emotional maturity. They learn to listen, remain calm, and regulate their reactions. A strong internal compass. They absorb values, discretion, gratitude, discipline, humility. Expanded global awareness. They grow up understanding different cultures and perspectives, the ability to adapt to any environment. Boardroom, banquet, foreign city, it doesn't matter. A subtle but unmistakable presence. Their confidence isn't loud, it's steady. Deepened family loyalty. They begin to understand the weight of their family name. These are not traits most people learn in school. They are shaped, slowly, intentionally, through experiences designed to turn childhood potential into adult leadership. 9. The soft power skills. They leave with elite summer programs don't just develop intelligence or culture. They cultivate soft power, the kind of influence that isn't loud, visible, or boastful, but unmistakably effective. Here are the final skills these programs nurture before sending the heirs back home. Reputation awareness. Future heirs learn early that their name is an asset. Their posture, their tone, the gratitude they show, the restraint they practice, all of it contributes to the aura that will follow them for life. They develop the habit of asking, how will this look in 20 years? Would this embarrass my family? Is this aligned with our values? This level of long-term thinking creates leaders, not liabilities. Strategic networking. Heirs learn how to connect authentically, not superficially. They're taught how to identify people with strong values, maintain long-term friendships, build alliances without manipulation, recognize trustworthy character, communicate maturity beyond their age. By adulthood, many of them have deeper global networks than most CEOs twice their age. Elegant self-confidence. Not the loud, flashy type of confidence, but the kind that shows up in quiet resilience, thoughtfulness, depth, curiosity, calm energy. This is why old money heirs don't need to show off. Their confidence is internal. Financial identity. Even though most programs don't teach spreadsheets or investments, they still shape the financial instincts of future heirs. They learn how wealthy families think, how legacy is managed, why certain decisions ripple through generations, the responsibility behind privilege. By the time they're 18, they already understand that wealth is a tool, not a toy. Global citizenship. Future heirs grow up with a sense that the world is bigger than themselves. They learn how different cultures operate, how power shifts between nations, how global markets affect philanthropy, how to work across borders. This worldview is what eventually helps them lead multinational businesses or international foundations with ease. What does this mean for anyone watching this video? You don't need a private estate or a century-old legacy to apply the principles these programs use. You can incorporate the same structures into your own life. Build discipline early, cultivate deep curiosity practice. Cultural intelligence protect your reputation. Learn to communicate with intention. Surround yourself with long-term thinkers. Make time for reflection. Focus on character over appearance. Develop emotional resilience. Select your circle deliberately. Wealth isn't just numbers, it's habits. And habits are built long before the world sees your results. Old money simply understands this sooner, which is why their heirs rise quietly, steadily, and with an advantage few ever discover. And that advantage begins every summer.